So around 2015, there could be the introduction of factory mass-produced nuclear power, like Hyperion power generation, which is trying to make a uranium hydride liquid metal reactor, generating about 30 megawatts of electrical power. The unit would weigh about 15 to 20 tons. And for that to have broad-scale impact, the U.S. currently already generates 100 gigawatts of power from nuclear power for about 104 reactors already, and worldwide about 374 gigawatts of power from various nuclear plants. I think about in the 300, 400 range. So, but these new reactors, in order to have impact, because they're smaller, you need to make thousands of them. So people would have concerns about proliferation being a possibility. My view on that is that these reactors would not have any incremental risk to them in regards to proliferation. By incremental risk, I would mean that if you were to try and take that reactor, dig it up from the ground and take it away, and then you try and use the material inside, it would be more difficult for you to turn that into a nuclear bomb, to separate out the uranium from the uranium hydride and the other materials there, which would already be hot, and separate that out into a bomb material, because one, it would be at 4.9% enrichment. In order to make a bomb, you have to go up to 80, 90% or more enrichment on that. So it's tougher to separate out that 5% and then to enrich it, because basically enrichment, you have these big massive centrifuges, and which are like several stories tall, that and a series of them, thousands of them working a long time, like Iran's doing thousands of those centrifuges in order to enrich the uranium and make their bombs. It takes a long time, years, and lots of power to do. There are more efficient ways to enrich uranium, where basically you make a customized reactor that would get you your enriched uranium from raw uranium, and basically that's an easier way to go. If you're going to make a bomb, it's better to go from raw uranium than to dig up this other reactor and trying to get it out. It's a bad way to go. It's tougher to do. So even if you have thousands of these reactors around, you're not going to be able to make more bombs easily, because it'd be easier for the terrorists to go dig up uranium out of the ground and enrich it, just in normal way. The other aspect of it is that these reactors will mostly be, it's not like it's sticking in people's backyards. See that written a bunch. That's not going to be the case. You talk about power for 10,000 homes, 20,000 homes. You'd have one per small town, one per community, and you can stick them in. We'll be placing them in some industrialized zone, or you'd be putting them on the site of a coal plant, where there's square miles of other territory. You're putting it on the site of a nuclear plant, or it's going to be in some industrial area. You're going to have security stuff around it. The other aspect about proliferation is, you could dig underneath and you blow it up. Basically, you'd be like you're blowing up a 15-ton bank vault buried in the ground. So one, you have to have enough explosives to blow through the concrete and the steel around the reactor and to make it leak in the first place, and then you have to blow it up enough so that it goes to the dirt, a massive amount of explosives. So why don't I just make my 1,000 pounds of explosives and then toss in some radioactive material and have my dirty bomb? Done. It's, again, no incremental risk. If I'm going to go to the trouble of doing that, I don't have to go at a reactor to do it. And the other thing about proliferation is the countries that are making these reactors, either the conventional reactors or these other reactors, are countries already with nuclear bombs. The way it works is a country gets nuclear bombs first in general. Like if you look at all the countries that have nuclear bombs, they got nuclear bombs first, and then some of them got nuclear power. So it doesn't tend to proliferate the other way, because strategically they want to go to the trouble of making the bombs first, and then they make their nuclear power. And for proliferation now, it's basically proliferate to who? What are the countries that don't have the bomb that you're worried about them getting it? Because it's not the US. The US already has bombs. Not China. China already has bombs. Russia already has bombs. Iran is close to getting the bomb. They already know how to do it. Proliferation basically happened in the 1970s when um, the Pakistan gentleman, last name of Khan, who told the North Koreans and he gave Pakistan the bomb, and then he told the North Koreans and the Iranians how to do it, and also the Iraqis. So proliferation, past tense, happened back then. The knowledge happened. So people need to get over the fact that more countries might get the bomb, because, Canada could have a nuclear bomb if they wanted to. They have the technology to do it. They could get one in a matter of months. A lot of countries could do it, and it's just they don't do it because it's not necessarily that beneficial for them to do it. Proliferation is not that big a deal, because one country with the bomb, so what? If it's the Middle East, Israel has 200 bombs. It's kind of this not talked about semi-secret that Israel has 200 bombs. So if Iran gets a bomb, Israel still has 200. Yes, they could be concerned, and definitely I would be concerned about the chance that Iran could do something very stupid and blow up Israel, but Israel would retaliate. It would be mutual destruction. They would take out Iran, and probably a lot of the Middle East. You would take them all out. So for the Arab countries to go do that, they'd be a bunch of friggin' idiots. Which Israel's concerned that they would be friggin' idiots. But in terms of strategically and all that kind of stuff, proliferation is an overblown thing. Proliferation hasn't killed anyone. But lack of clean energy has. The coal plants and the oil plants and air pollution kill 3 million people per year, which is, if you would notice, like 20 times more than Hiroshima and Nagasaki every year. Actual deaths, which I get really annoyed with people who say, "Oh, this is so risky." I say risky is more dead. So I can say more dead from this other thing and this other stuff. Proliferation killed no one because the first bombs that actually used to kill people were from the United States. They dropped them on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, not proliferating because they built them first. It didn't like they got the bomb from someone else and they blew someone else up. So that'd be my view on energy and proliferation.